Agreement required for free installation.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
The IRS, the world's most aggressive collection agency. They can seize your property, bank account, and garnish your wages. They cause sleepless nights for millions of Americans. Don't be one of them. If you owe $10,000 or more to the IRS or state, get protected today. Call 800-312-9970. Coast One Tax Group, protecting your bank, home, and your sleep since 2008. With hundreds of 5-star reviews and an A+ on the Better Business Bureau. Call Coast One Tax Group, 800-312-9970. Stanley from New York owed $93,000. The IRS placed a levy on his bank account. Coast One released the levy and settled with the IRS for $2,000. Mark in Michigan owed $225,000. After Coast One stepped in, Mark walked away paying less than $1,500. Call Coast One now. A 10-minute call can save you up to 93% on your back taxes. Get your fresh start today. That's 800-312-9970.
WIKG, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, 92.1 The Goat, the Tri-State's home for sports and news. Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Let's talk Tri-State.
Welcome to Wednesday's edition of Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie. And of course, it's all powered by Home Right Windows and Doors, the right choice, voted best of the Tri-State in 2024. Today is Wednesday, November 13th. We are just flying through November. Hopefully, for many of you, Friday is payday. It can't come quick enough.
That's true. And boy, was it cold last night.
It was. I live on the second floor apartment, and it's funny because when my neighbor who is above me turns on the heat, it goes right through the vent.
You have a neighbor above you? I thought you were.
I'm sorry. I'm up here.
Oh, okay.
I have a neighbor below me.
Below you, yes.
I apologize. And anytime she turns on the heat, it comes right through the vent, and it's right outside of my bedroom. And so that one area of my apartment gets so nice and warm, and I don't have to turn on any of the heat.
Right.
I message her every time it kicks on, and I say, "Oh, thank you so much for putting on that heat." I mean, it just goes right into my apartment.
And if she doesn't, then Katie's quick to text her and be like, "Hey, you gonna turn on the heat?
Everything okay down there?
Girl's getting cold up here."
Sometimes though, I'll just stand on top of the vent and just go like this and warm up before I move around. But it's anything to save a buck.
Could turn it on, but quick check of the bank account tells me I'll just wait for the neighbor.
Yeah, I'll just wait until I get paid on Friday, and then I'll start turning on my own heater. Today we are looking at sunny skies and warming up in a high of 51. Tonight it's going to be cloudy, not quite as cold, but still chilly, low 33. Enough for me to text my neighbor to turn on the heat. Mm-hmm. And we are going to see some showers tomorrow and a high of 48, but it's been a while since we've had a shower, dreary, rainy day.
A fall day, November rain day.
Yeah, anything that isn't in between 25 at night or, like 70 to 80.
I could use a what should we call it, who sings that? The cold November rain. Guns N' Roses.
Oh, yes.
I could use a Guns N' Roses day.
Well, I also really enjoy that song, too. Yeah. That would be a good one. Today is World Kindness Day. A couple activities you can do to celebrate World Kindness Day.
Can you opt out?
No, you have to. You have to be a part of this.
Okay.
You can perform at least 3 random acts of kindness today. You could give a compliment.
Okay.
You could smile at a stranger or a friend.
Okay.
You could hold the door open for somebody.
What else you got?
Give up a seat on a crowded train.
Keep going.
Perform at least 3 random acts of kindness and see what kind of magic follows.
I've never been a fan of magic.
Okay, well, how about compliment? You look lovely today, my best good buddy.
Thank you, Katie.
Okay.
What? Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry. Thank you very much, Katie.
Something else you could do, you could give an extra long hug today. Kindness and connection go hand in hand, so take a few extra minutes and hug your loved ones and friends today.
And apparently it's a 3-minute hug where the healing properties
Is that what I said?
in,
3 minutes?
That
is a very awkwardly long hug, but
unless, like, when I was growing up, if Pamela Anderson wanted to give me a 3-minute hug, like, sure.
when you were growing up, not now.
Oh, yeah, now too, but I'm just saying, some people may say now, well, she doesn't look like, it's still Pamela Anderson.
Yes.
You know, it's, why not?
I have a tendency, and this is something that I've been trying to work on as I get older. I greet with a hug. I don't greet with a handshake. I have a tendency to greet with a hug, but not everybody likes it. And I have found myself in a few situations where I went to hug somebody and they were just completely still, like a statue, and very uncomfortable. But something else you can do to celebrate World Kindness Day, you could write a love poem to yourself and read it out loud and highlight things that you love about yourself and increase your self-esteem, because it's important to be kind to yourself too.
This is Katie's right here. Page 1.
Page
2.
Every day I write.
And then right here. Yeah.
I always write something that I'm proud of myself for every day. Yes, I do.
What was yesterday's?
What was I proud of myself for yesterday? Oh, I didn't have a great day yesterday, and there were a couple of things that really threw me off my game, and I was proud of myself for not letting it ruin the whole day and trying to make it go in the right direction, even though it was very quickly unraveling before my eyes.
Was that after you came to me and had me talk you down off the cliff?
It may have been, or it might have been around that same time.
Hey, whatever tools you use to get there.
It's also Hug a Musician Day as well. I am a very talented singer and piano player.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Just waiting for that hug. And there's some statistics to go along with musicians. Do you ever wonder why musicians sell merchandise, go on tour, and are on commercials? The average musician only earns about 6% from sound recordings and less than 8% from stream. So most of that money nowadays goes to record labels and streaming commercials, meaning that they don't make money off of the musician's work. Then that they make more money off of the musician's work than the musician does themselves, which is kind of crazy to think about.
There's, I remember hearing that years ago, and that the merchandise money that they make, which is just essentially found money, like each night is, if you're one of the bigger artists and you sell out, we're talking you can get upwards of $500,000 a night.
Well, now the merchandise, it's been a while since I've purchased anything from a concert because I can't afford it. I mean, T-shirt start at $40,
minimum,
$50 for a T-shirt. It's too much for me. I did buy a T-shirt when I went to the Elton John farewell tour because I felt like that needed to be documented.
Yeah, of course.
And I bought one at The Cure. I don't know if you're familiar with The Cure. They're a very popular 80s band, and they came around and they were touring back in like 2017. Other than that, you won't catch me. But I wanted to buy merchandise at the Eras tour in Portugal. Tiny.
The line.
Yeah.
I saw pictures of it.
I didn't even know. I couldn't figure out what if it was the line to get into the concert, the line for the bathroom, the line for the merch. They all just converged together.
Yeah.
It was, oh my gosh, it was really crazy to think about.
Perspective, though. Funny you'd mentioned Taylor Swift. So seemingly on music, the songwriters tend to make the lion's share of the money, right? The artist makes, I don't want to say the least, but then you have the publishers, which is the organizational company that handles all the rights and all that kind of sound exchange, reporting. Taylor Swift, though, and then of course merchandise, touring, tickets, yeah. Taylor Swift owns all of it. Mm-hmm. She writes pretty much all of her songs.
Well, now she's re-released all of her albums under her herself. Is that
herself,
the way?
Yes.
Yep.
She owns. See, she didn't own her original recordings of what made her super popular early on. So that's why you hear the Taylor's version.
The Taylor's version, absolutely.
So she does that now that she owns the ability to have. I mean, it's all under her umbrella.
Well, and she does. say what you want about Taylor Swift, but she does make a lot of very charitable donations. And
Look, I'm certainly not knocking her. I think that if you can do it, if you have the talent as she does to write, and you have the infrastructure, and why not? Why let any money leave that doesn't have to leave?
Absolutely, sure. But I thought that was a crazy statistic.
Like you do with the heat. Don't let the money leave.
I'm all about it. Almost 91% of all artists are undiscovered, meaning that there are billions of potential favorite songs out there that we may never hear. So if you know a talented musician, don't let them go unrecognized.
Give them a hug.
Give them a hug, or maybe try to do a little bit more than that. But it is Hug a Musician Day, and what was the other one? World Kindness Day. A couple things that make this day notable. Back 235 years ago in 1789, Benjamin Franklin wrote a letter to a friend in which he said, "In this world, nothing can be said to be certain except for
death and taxes."
Death and taxes. That's what my mom always still tells me. Katie, there's only two things I can promise you. You're going to die, and you need to pay your taxes.
Yep.
That's about it. 84 years ago, Walt Disney's Fantasia premiered in New York. It flopped and only became a huge hit when it was re-released in 1969.
Cartoon, yeah.
I remember watching Fantasia on VHS when I was a kid, and I was so confused what was happening.
I never cared for it.
I didn't understand it. I mean,
look, when we were kids, basically it's a musical. So I just never.
There is a story to it.
Well, certainly there is, but I never, at that age, I don't think kids care about musicals. Yeah. So we want to see the coyote chase the roadrunner and fail miserably. We don't want to have the coyote singing as he's doing it.
I mean, I did.
Well,
I enjoyed singing all the songs. So it was 50 years ago, and I kind of embarrassed. I didn't know this was a true story. Karen Silkwood was killed in a suspicious car accident on her way to deliver evidence to a reporter of numerous safety violations at an Oklahoma nuclear plant. And then it became a movie in which Meryl Streep played her called Silkwood.
I never saw that.
I believe she was up for an Oscar or won an Oscar.
How long ago was this?
This was 50 years ago that this...
Well, no, I mean the movie you're talking about.
I think the movie is from the 80s. It is an older movie, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, more so when I was younger. My mom would watch it, and I was probably sneaking in to watch part of it because it was, above...
Sure. Yeah.
It was too advanced for me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, realistically, the Flintstones were as well.
I just didn't know that was a true story.
I mean, you didn't get Fantasia, so.
This one there was not a prayer here. 42 years ago in 82, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial was dedicated in Washington, D.C. The wall includes the names of over 58,000 servicemen and women who gave their lives during the Vietnam conflict. Have you ever been to the Vietnam Veterans Memorial?
I have.
It's pretty, that whole area and all of those memorials are really, really, we used to take, when I was a teacher, we used to take our third graders there, but we stopped doing that because it was an arduous journey.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a long day of walking,
Very long,
and the kids, it was just too much for them, so we bumped it to fourth grade. But, I always really enjoyed every year going and looking at those memorials.
Well, not to mention, how do you, and it's not their fault, how do you get, here we go again with the age thing, is how can you expect those young kids to really look? I'm just over 40, and it is difficult for me to. I don't think any of us will fully grasp how horrible that conflict was, and what those men went through when they came home. So a third grader,
yeah, and we go through and we read a little bit and have a better understanding of the memorial. The kids just want to zip through and get to, the souvenir shop.
The monument, there's the Capitol, there's the White House, and out we go.
Yeah, they're not.
They want to ride the metro.
I mean, that is still very fun at any age. That's true. All right, so we are going to take a pause here and check in with the good word of the day.
Hi, everybody. Pastor Tim Beitzel here from First Assembly of God in Shippensburg, PA. I want to share two verses of Scripture this morning for our devotional that are two of my favorite Scriptures because they speak of the power that is available to believers. And this comes from Paul's letter to the Romans, Romans chapter 12, the first two verses. Listen. And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all that he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person. by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. So many people struggle with the idea of a holy God, that there's just no way that they could ever be righteous before him. And you know what? They're right. None of us in our own righteousness can stand before a holy God. But listen, Jesus changed all that. And because Jesus died for you and rose again and defeated death, you can live holy lives. And I love in verse 2 where Paul writes, let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Boy, oh boy, we get in a lot of deep water sometimes because we refuse to change the way we think about something. It is entirely possible that the way that we think about something may be wrong. God wants to mature you, and he wants to sanctify you. That means look more like Jesus and less like the world by changing the way you think. Will you let him change the way you think today? It's for your good. God bless you. See you soon.
Well, the winners have been announced. We reported on this not too long ago. The winners of the first Franklin County Visitors Bureau Scary Mini Movie Contest have been named. The top prize was awarded to Denise Engel and Family for the Dark Realm. 2 honorable mentions of $100 were rewarded to Sharif Joyner and Santos Vasquez for The Drive and Steve Black and Family for Halloween Night. Videos needed to be original works, at least 90 seconds, no more than 5.5 minutes, with introduction and credits. And you may remember that it needed to have a scream and the phrase, "But there is one thing."
Yeah.
Remember, I was really confused.
Right.
Surprise, surprise. But if you want to see the video submissions, you can go online to explorefranklincountypa.com, episode 19, to see them, which I think is, I'm curious how many submissions they had. And I love that they're so quick, especially for me, because I have a very short attention span.
I'm going to watch them.
I am too.
Definitely, because who knows what you're missing.
I know.
I've never been one to really watch short films, but I want to see if do I recognize anywhere.
Are you scared?
Doesn't scare me at all. And I like the idea of the story that people would come up with.
And how you can come up with it in 90 seconds.
That's exactly right. So Hagerstown police are investigating a shooting that happened Monday evening along the 100 block of West Bethel Street, in which the man's injuries were not believed at the time to be life-threatening. The suspect was not in custody as of yesterday morning, Hagerstown Police Lieutenant Rebecca Fachu said shortly before 8 a.m. She said at the time of the shooting, we had 3 members of HPD attending a community meeting in Bethel Gardens. Additionally, there were officers in the area of Jonathan and Church Streets that heard the shots. Officers immediately responded and rendered first aid. This was according to a Facebook post by the Hagerstown Police Department. So horrible that there was a shooting. Great that, look, we had the other day, it was, you and I told a story about an ambulance that ran into a guy.
Oh, yes. We talked about that on our radio program.
Unfortunate, but hey, if you're going to get hit by something,
it's right there to take you to the right place. And you have the EMTs right there for you.
With this, there was a shooting, but these officers were quick to act and render first aid, and who knows how different that could have turned out.
Right, exactly. Let's go ahead and take a look at sports with Andy.
Last night in ABA action, the Atlanta Hawks kicked off the night taking on the Boston Celtics. The Atlanta Hawks got a win, 117-116, with Johnson leading the way for scoring on 18 points with 13 rebounds and 10 assists, getting himself a triple-double. White led the scoring for the Celtics with 31 points and 6 rebounds. The Detroit Pistons won a close game in overtime with the Miami Heat. Caden Cunningham had an alley-oop pass to Duren for the Pistons to win the game and seal the deal. Hero had 40 points on the night for the Miami Heat with 8 assists and 4 steals, and Cade Cunningham led the scoring with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists for the Pistons. The Orlando Magic beat the Charlotte Hornets 114-89 last night. LaMelo Ball led the scoring for the Hornets with 35 points, and Franz Wagner put in 32 points for the Orlando Magic. The New York Knicks got a win against the Philadelphia 76ers in Joel Embiid's debut game for the 76ers this season. Hart led the scoring for New York with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, getting himself a triple-double on the night. and Paul George had 29 points and 10 rebounds for the 76ers. The Milwaukee Bucks won against the Toronto Raptors. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 23 points with 7 assists and 4 blocks on the game. The Phoenix Suns beat the Utah Jazz 120-112. Devin Booker had 31 points for the Suns, and John Collins had 29 points and 10 rebounds for the Utah Jazz. In a game where we saw the Splash Brothers reunite, Stephen Curry and his Golden State Warriors took on Klay Thompson and his Dallas Mavericks last night. The Warriors came out on top in a close one, 120-117. Stephen Curry led the scoring for the Warriors with 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Luka Doncic had 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Mavs. The Portland Trailblazers got an important win against a tough opponent in the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. Reed led the scoring for Minnesota with 28 points, while Williams III had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals for the Blazers. There wasn't just basketball in the NBA last night happening. There was college basketball going on as well, and a good game against Kansas and Michigan State took place, with number 1 Kansas coming out on top 77-69. Kentucky took on Duke. Kentucky ranked number 19, while Duke's ranked number 6 on the season. Kentucky got the upset win, 77-72. Number 12 Baylor took down Sam Houston, 104-67. And number 25 Ole Miss got a win against South Alabama, 64-54. In the NHL last night, the Ottawa Senators notched a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs, 3-0. The Winnipeg Jets took down the New York Rangers 6-3. And the New Jersey Devils beat the Florida Panthers 4-1. The Boston Bruins got a win against the St. Louis Blues 3-2. And the Edmonton Oilers beat the New York Islanders 4-3. The Vancouver Canucks took down the Calgary Flames 3-1. And finally, the last game on the evening saw the Seattle Kraken go up against the Columbus Blue Jackets, with the Kraken getting a win 5-2.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach, and the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The Goat.
Whether you're new to vaping, are thinking of starting, or already vaping, Vast Vapor will treat you right. Electronic cigarettes are not one size fits all. Vast Vapor works with you one-on-one to help you select the best items to be a true replacement to your smoking habit. With great products and expert advice, Vast Vapor is here for you. Ask about their 7-tier rewards program that actually allows you to get the products you want, and give them a like on Facebook. Vast Vapor has 3 locations: on Moggins Avenue next to Subway in Hagerstown, on the Point near Walmart, Waynesboro, and Gateway Avenue in Chambersburg. Vast Vapor is hiring additional team members for all 3 locations. Has vaping changed your life? Are you passionate about helping others understand the benefits of tobacco harm reduction? Are you reliable, energetic, and trustworthy? Are you an individual with a good sense of humor? Then Vast Vapor is the place for you. Join the Vast Vapor team and help customers make a positive lifestyle change. Vast Vapor, we're not blowing smoke.
The Cumberland Valley Business Alliance has over 850 members who are part of a strong business community. Listen now for some of our newest members.
South Central Services is a full-service insulation company committed to getting real results for our customers. We can create a customized solution for your home. If you need insulation, your home is uncomfortable, or your energy bills are high, call us at 717-895-3498 or visit scsfoam.com to request your free quote.
Cannon Powder Coating is located just north of Chambersburg, convenient to I-81 and Route 11 in the Letter County Industrial Development Park. Cannon Powder Coating's 13,000 square foot facility is here to partner with you for all your powder coating and media blasting needs. From one piece to thousands, we are here to be your trusted powder coating and blasting partner. For more information, please check out our website, cannonpowdercoating.com, or call us at 717-422-0866.
Be part of a growing business community and join the Cumberland Valley Business Alliance today. Find out more at cvballiance.org. rainbowrestoration.org.
Flood, fire, smoke and water damage, odor, or mold mitigation. Whatever the disaster, Rainbow Restoration can make it disappear. Their fully trained and certified professionals will get your home or business back on track. Pioneers in the restoration business, Rainbow Restoration's cleanup experts are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. No matter the project, Rainbow Restoration in Waynesboro will get it done right. A proud, neighborly company. Find them online at rainbowrestores.com. Shelters are full across the country, and the Humane Society of Washington County is no exception. Hundreds of animals are in care between the shelter and foster homes. They need your help. Please consider adopting a pet or volunteer. Help walk dogs, wash and fold laundry, distribute food from the pet food bank. Have a garage, warehouse, barn, or other suitable shelter? Adopt a working cat. You can save a life. Adopt a pet from the Humane Society of Washington County, and remember to have your pets spayed or neutered. Learn more ways to help at hswcmd.org.
As the year draws to a close, CWP wants to thank our customers, community, and staff for a remarkable year.
To our loyal customers, your trust keeps us rolling every day. To our exceptional staff, your teamwork is the driving force behind our achievements. To our community, including our customers, staff, and family, we wish you all the best.
May the coming year be filled with success, happiness, and shared moments.
From all of us here at CWP, happy Thanksgiving.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice. Winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards.
Jason Morris is our first guest today, the owner of Teflon Roofing. Thank you so much, Jason, for being here with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you guys for having me.
As we're getting into the winter months here, what do you find is the number one question that you hear about roofing?
The number one, I guess, would be the roof maintenance. How to not only keep it intact for now, but prolong the life of the roof. And going into the wintertime, obviously keeping the roof free of debris. The big thing in this area is going to be like the gutters, keeping the gutter debris out of there, any of the pine needles, things like that. And just basically doing like an overall visibility check for the roof. And we understand, like, homeowners don't really know what they're looking at a lot of the time, and being able to compare with your neighbors and then look at yours, making sure you don't have any shingles that are missing, no caps that are blown off the property, things like that, is really going to help propel the roof longevity throughout the wintertime. So that's probably the number one thing that people should look out for.
Could somebody call you to come and take a look at their roof and just say, give them some feedback as to how it's looking and if they need any maintenance before the winter hits?
Absolutely. Any local roofing company should be able to do that for you. And preventative maintenance is huge because we see all the time, like, homes don't have proper ventilation. And if you don't have proper ventilation on your roof, that's going to significantly shorten the lifespan of your roof, regardless of what any warranty says. And homeowners should really look at the warranties that they're given, because a lot of those warranties have in the small writing that you need to reapply sealant every 10 years. And that's something that homeowners don't really know.
Mm-hmm.
And we tell anybody that if your roof is over 15 years old, you need to get an inspection every 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on the company that you go with, they're normally anywhere from like $99 to $199, but you'll get like a bird's eye view of your roof. Homeowners that have drones and things like that could use that as a benefit too, because then they get literally a bird's eye view from being on the roof instead of actually climbing up a ladder. And yeah, that's not a good idea.
No.
And Jason, tell us a little bit about Teflon Roofing and your background and how this business came to be.
It originally started off, it was for overall health, believe it or not. I'm a huge fitness advocate, and we just kind of adapted that same mentality into being homeowner advocates, because there's a lot of scams and a lot of companies out there nowadays that pose as roofing companies, but in reality they're just marketing companies, and they're basically selling your contract to somebody else. And I'm not saying that there's a bad essence there with some companies, but homeowners are being torched. Like, we submitted a proposal yesterday for $12,000, and the next closest price they had was $19,000, and we install quality. So there's no justification for a $7,000 increase from what we are offering.
So if somebody is maybe a new homeowner or they're getting their roof done for the first time, what would you tell someone who is shopping for a roofing company to be careful of, or questions to ask?
First is always going to be licensing. Pennsylvania is absolutely horrible when it comes to that, because you being a talk show host and doing what you do on a consistent basis, you could literally have a legitimate roofing company in Pennsylvania in 2 years. So past that point, I would say look for social presence, Facebook, Instagram, and don't look just for marketing posts. Like, see actual projects where there's 9 or 10 different pictures of each house, because those are the people that are going to be more prone to helping the homeowners instead of just posting one picture and it being an ad or a call to action. Hey, get $199 a month payment or no interest for 36 months. Those are really the companies that you want to try to stay away from, because those are the marketing companies. Those are the ones that are going to give you the $19,000 price versus the $12,000 price.
And I can imagine, I do own my home, and I just had my roof done last year, actually, in Virginia. And I think that when you hear how much the roof costs, the price can be very shocking.
Yes.
It can be, depending on the house size, obviously, it can be a monumental amount. Do you guys offer any kind of financing?
Yes, we do. I've never been a big fan of that, and I understand that, you know, a roof is the most important thing that you're going to purchase after you buy your home, okay? And a lot of people don't have the money to do that. And, like, we offer that. We offer financing. And that is the big catapult between, you know, being able to afford something that is really good for your home versus you always going with the cheapest person, because from that 19 to 12,000, you'll also have somebody come in at 9,000 and use knockoff generic products, tell you that you're getting a lifetime warranty, when in reality the warranty's only going to be as long as a craftsmanship warranty that you get for your home. So you just got to do your due diligence, read some reviews, see the different pictures, things like that, and then ask around. Like, if the company, you've never heard of them before, then you should probably steer away from that, regardless of how good the deal actually is, because, like, they're the only thing more expensive than having a good roof is having to do it 2 times.
Yeah.
And you, at Teflon Roofing, do you specialize in metal roofing?
We specialize in anything roofing.
Okay.
So any roofing products, we're not the ones that are going to come out there and doors, windows, siding, you know what I mean? Those are more of the marketing companies. When we first started, I have a huge background in roofing products in general, and set out the first 3 or 4 years of building our company to actually install the product myself. So, I mean, I have over 600 installs with my hands, so there's not too many things that we're going to come across that can't be resolved.
But metal roofing is becoming a more popular thing, yes?
Yes,
and
100%.
What would be the advantages of that?
Metal roofing advantages, number one is going to be the longevity. We use a corrugated panel, which seems to be pretty popular in this area now. The only thing I would challenge homeowners to talk to their roofer about in that regard is the ventilation that they have. Because if your attic's not properly ventilated, those panels are going to create condensation underneath, and you're going to have serious problems in 10 years. And then on the same flip end of that, our manufacturer has a warranty paper that I can give homeowners that say that warranty or the exposed fastener is going to last 40 years. But that's just not the case. That neoprene washer is going to wear, and you're probably looking somewhere around 20 years if the roof's installed properly, to where you're having to replace those screws, but then you're 10% the cost of a new roof, and you have another 20, 25 years on it. So,
at what point, if you have a roof, at what point do you get to, if you're missing a couple shingles, where you can just get those replaced as opposed to getting a brand new roof?
That's basically going to come down to why the damage was done. Like, if it was a storm that came through and your deductible's not that high, then if it's just a few shingles, there's no really point in filing an insurance claim. Whereas if there was a whole section of your roof that was damaged, then that's a totally different story. But somebody should really call a local roofer and have them inspect that damage before that determination is made.
I want to ask you about something that we've been seeing a lot of now, that's solar panels on roofs. Now, I know you don't install solar panels, but what my question is, every time I see those, is sometimes I see them on a brand new roof, a brand new beautiful metal roof. How does that work with the warranty, A, and then B, is that something that you think is detrimental to the quality of the stability of your roof?
Okay, so the manufacturers on both sides have kind of more teamed up now, because there's different boots, there's different roofing systems that are coming, and they have to find a way to attach the solar to the roof. Number one would be that the solar manufacturer actually picks up the warranty for the roof on that section. You know what I mean? So if I come and install a new roof on your house and then you put solar on it right away, I'm no longer responsible for that section of the roof. And the
So
solar
you can
companies
do that, just section out the roof and say, you're responsible for this and I'm responsible for this?
Absolutely.
Huh,
Yeah, because it's actually in our paperwork that if, we give the lifetime, I use that because I call it the lifetime lie here at Teflon, the lifetime warranty, and then we have a 10-year craftsmanship warranty. So if anybody steps, like if you call another roofer to come out and do work on our roof that we installed, you no longer have our craftsmanship warranty. You know what I mean? And then the solar is totally different. Like, I highly recommend that if anybody is in and going to do the solar, that you put a brand new roof on your house. Like, we've come across 3 or 4 jobs this year where the roof was shot and they had just had solar installed in the past 2 or 3 years. So now they have to pay the solar company to come out, remove those panels, and then put them back on after we install the roof.
You mentioned earlier about proper ventilation, and correct me if I'm wrong, but what you're speaking of, or the reason for the need for proper ventilation, is because that, if it's an attic or those boards, that roofing is subject to, my goodness, extreme temperature, especially around here. You get extreme cold, you get extreme heat, humidity, all the dry, so expansion, contraction. Is that why? Because it's just going to really mess with...
What a lot of people don't really realize is your home kind of breathes just like we do. So at the bottom of your roof, you have your soffit and you have your eave. And your roof is actually taking in a breath, pulling air in from that point, and then having proper ventilation on the back end of it at the top, where the air is going to escape from the roof. And keeping that air moving in your attic is what is going to prevent against the heat buildup and the humidity buildup. And it's actually going to extend the life of your roof. As you know, if you don't have the proper intake and the proper ventilation on the roof, then you're going to start running into problems, and your lifetime 35, 50-year roof just fell to 20 years because it's going to heat up the underneath of the plywood, and then that's going to transfer to the shingles or to the metal, etc.
Wow, there's so much science to it.
Yeah, and do you recommend, if it can be done, if the homeowner can do it, do you recommend fans, or are you okay with just ventilation?
Well, there's several documents that you can research online. Normally the roofers are supposed to do that, and if you get somebody that's local that actually cares, they're going to automatically know what the proper CFM for any fans. But I'd probably say about 50% of the time we recommend solar fans, because the products are changing so much now. They're thicker, they're heavier, there's more there to lose, that they require more ventilation in the attic as compared to roofs of old with the gable vents. Like, gable vents just aren't good anymore. That's not enough ventilation in the air.
What was the word you just said? Cable fence?
Gable vents.
Okay.
They're like, some people won't have the soffit vents at the bottom of the roof, but on both ends they'll have small gable vents.
Okay.
And they were good at the time because you would pull air in from one side the whole way through the other. But now the manufacturers are requiring more ventilation to offer the 50-year lifetime warranty, things like that.
When we start getting into the winter months, do you slow down on roofing jobs because of what the weather could be unpredictable?
Okay, so quick background. The first 4 years that I was actually installing, we installed through the wintertime, but I was supplementing from another company that was giving us the work. In the last 3 years, we shut down at the beginning of November. Unless it's an absolute dire necessity that they get a roof replacement. And the biggest thing there is the roof's not going to adhere properly. If you get a roof installed in the wintertime and it's dropping below that 32-degree mark and it's freezing, the adhesion that's on the back of the shingles, regardless of what shingle that it is, isn't going to mat to everything else properly. And that's probably the number one, because then you're getting wind blow off, you're getting shingles blow off, you're getting caps ripped apart and things like that. Plus, setting the product on the roof. Like, a lot of companies will deliver a day or two before, and you're having shingles set up there curled over top of your roof for 2 days while it's freezing outside, and that's just, yeah.
What is I'm sure it obviously varies depending on the size of the house, but what is the average timeline that it takes from start to finish to get a roof done?
Most of our projects, I'd say 99% of our projects go in 1 day.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, if it's an absolute necessity, obviously metal's going to take longer. When you get into standing seam, that's a different animal. We had a project down in Carlisle that was just a basic 20-square install, and it took 4 days. So if you're getting a shingle roof, absolutely 100% it'll be done in a day. Some of the metal products are going to take a little bit longer because there's a lot of preparation.
And then you had just mentioned Carlisle. Do you service, what are your service areas?
All of South Central Pennsylvania, and we will be breaking into Maryland and probably parts of West Virginia at the
great.
beginning of 2025. So,
Oh, great.
yeah, expanding, growing.
That's great.
What do you, if you were going to do your personal roof tomorrow, are you doing metal or are you doing shingle?
I actually am doing my personal roof. Not tomorrow,
Oh,
but in
okay.
in a month.
You could have said it was
Gonna
tomorrow.
say that was tomorrow.
I'm a huge fan of the metal shingles that they released. I think that's probably, I have more installs with the metal shingles with my bare hands than any other product.
So this is this is a hybrid, yes? It kind of bridges the gap, am I to assume?
Well, it looks like a shingle, but it's a metal panel. It's
Right.
16 inches by 48 inches.
Okay.
And it's an enclosed fastener. So it's relative to the standing seam, a little bit cheaper than standing seam. Definitely way easier to install than standing seam. But it goes down really efficiently, really fast.
I don't think I've seen, if I've seen a roof that has that, would I notice it? Like, would you know that?
It would be off.
Yeah.
Like it would be more prominent and definitive. We actually just installed one last week in Chambersburg. So if you're in the Chambersburg area and you're listening, just reach out to our office and
You have some pictures online of them.
Yes, not very many.
They're sharp.
Yeah.
Very sharp looking.
Yes, they are. They are. In a lifetime. Like I tell most of the people we install them for that, if they're 60 years old, their grandkids would never have to replace the roof.
Right.
It's really going to last that long.
Yeah.
And you're saying that for the reason you chose to go the metal shingle route is because of the ease of just replacing one versus whole panels. Is that correct?
Well, if you put a metal shingle roof on your house and there's issues with it, that whole side has to come down. It's not like something where I can pop in and change one single. Okay. No, they're interwoven and they lock in together to each. So there's nothing there that you can actually replace in the field.
But they last longer.
Yes, they do, way longer.
Like 60 years.
If they're installed properly, you could probably push 60 to 80 years.
Wow.
Yeah. It would definitely be the last roof that you ever get installed. If you
these things last so long now that it's just, there's no evidence, there's no like scientific evidence or studies, to, you know what I mean? Because they're just a relatively new development, which was an old development. Actually.
Well, and I mean, a lot of the warranties I think that they base off of is watching how the product is actually installed. Like I've done 4 different manufacturers for metal shingles, and a lot of them are not going to hack it. Like in 30 years, they're going to fail. So I probably did a year and a half worth of research, as well as installing 3 different of the manufacturers with my hands. So I knew exactly what to look for. Yeah.
Here's another question though, is when it comes to metal roofs, the one objection that I heard, especially when they started to really come into this area, was I would get one, but it's going to be noisy.
Yes.
How does that work out? What's your response to that?
That really comes down to the installer. Like ours we always put them on wooden slats, so that helps minimize the noise that you're going to have. But if you have a porch or a back porch or maybe a space that's right over top of your daughter or son's room, and you don't have proper ventilation in it, you're probably going to hear that noise.
I find that noise, I worked at a winery for years that had a metal roof. And when it would rain, I loved it.
Yeah.
I loved the sound of it.
Soothing.
It was very soothing. Yeah.
So my response would be, if it's something you're worried about and you don't like that noise, I wouldn't.
Maybe not
you know
the
what I
route to
mean?
go.
Get some shingles.
You can get a shingle system, and I tell everybody our roofs, like you obviously get the lifetime warranty, and if everything's installed in our elite package, you're going to get 35 years easy out of it before you have to even think about replacing it. And most people aren't even going to live in a roof or in their houses that long. So
with the last minute that we have, Jason, how can people get in touch with you and find you?
Call the office. We also have our website, and then we have social media, Facebook, all types. Like it's easier to call us directly or send a request through our online, teflonroofing.com, and we will be back in touch with you within 24 hours.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us today.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Coming up, we're going to take a look at sports, and it's all powered by the DRB Group, the right partner for your real estate development.
If your Christmas list includes power tools, grills, and other manly things, send your Santa to Knitter House Hardware, your gift headquarters for steel and Milwaukee tools, Milwaukee heated gear, Napoleon and Traeger grills and accessories, Duke Cannon grooming products, along with truck and tractor toys for the kids. The friendly, knowledgeable staff can help you pick out the perfect gifts. Knitter House Hardware, Chambersburg's neighborhood hardware store just off Wayne Avenue. Shop early this year at Knitter House.
Celebrate the season in Williamsport, Maryland. The fun begins Friday, December 6th with the Christmas parade through town, followed by the lighting of Byron Memorial Park's Christmas display. Then Saturday, December 7th, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m., join the second annual Cocoa Crawl. Spend $25 at a downtown business for your free 2024 Christmas mug. Then try the many hot chocolate varieties at participating businesses. Supplies are limited. Celebrate the season in Williamsport, Maryland.
You know your car.
My Mitzi takes premium and a wash once a month.
Or at least you think you do.
Old Hank has a double Buford throttle Hemi.
But if you're lacking the space or the tools to work on your baby...
What about the know-how?
That too. Then our garage is for you.
Danny's Garage, your local Volkswagen and Audi specialist with over 45 years of experience. Stop in and see why the tri-state area trusts Danny's to get their Volkswagen and Audi right and back on the road in no time. Stop by Danny's Garage in Quincy today.
Whether you want to keep it cool.
Hey, grab me a popsicle.
Keep it hot.
That smells amazing.
Or keep it clean. We've got the appliance you need at prices that sizzle.
At Springview Appliance and Mattress, we have a full line of appliances and mattresses at the best prices and the personal service to help you find the perfect appliance and mattress for your needs. Springview Appliance and Mattress, Guilford Springs Road in Chambersburg. Life made easier.
Surplus City finds factory overruns, buybacks, and closeouts and turns them into great everyday deals. Check out the great selection of toys, along with Christmas decor, ornaments, pines, and more. Get ready for winter with assorted sweatshirts, clear plastic to cover your windows, stovepipe, and RV antifreeze. There's a great selection of flannel and fleece material. Assorted wood tabletops start at $54.49, and they have wood butcher blocks, too. Surplus City, West Side Plaza, Lincoln Way West, Chambersburg.
Hey Hagerstown, looking for the perfect place to explore the world of THCA and growing? Come check us out at Simple Pleasures. We're more than a shop. We're a space where cannabis, culture, creativity, and community come together. Whether you're looking for premium flower, potent edibles, or a new bong, I'm your guy. We've added a brand new glass art gallery and waiting lounge where you can kick back and take in the creativity around you. And check out the Smoke Me Out podcast film right here at Simple Pleasures. Simple Pleasures, it's where cannabis culture feels like home. Cultivate your lifestyle with us.
Go to 921thegoat.com to enter the Ho-Ho Home for the holidays for a chance to have your mortgage paid for 1 year, all thanks to DRB Homes. Discover the incredible offer from DRB Homes this November across Pennsylvania, Western Maryland, Eastern Panhandle, and Winchester, Virginia. Secure your new home with just a $1 contract deposit. Act fast. This deal is available for homes closing by January 31st, 2025. Ready to make your move? Learn more at drbhomes.com.
Change brings opportunity, and here at Williamsport Health and Rehabilitation, we are very excited to announce that as of October 1st, our name has changed, but the care and compassion that is at the heart of all we do has not. Previously Williamsport Retirement Village, our goal was and always will be to provide the best care in the tri-state area to our community. We currently have openings in our assisted living and long-term care. Please call 301-223-7971 to hear about our incentives and to schedule a tour. Williamsport Health and Rehabilitation, care beyond compare.
Don't let your home be a source of worry. Call Man Plumbing for any cooling, heating, or plumbing needs. Be ready for fall's cooler temperatures with an HVAC checkup to keep your system running at peak efficiency and save money. Ask us about tax credits on a new high-efficiency train system. This fall, rely on Man Plumbing and Heating, your area's train comfort specialist, to keep your family cozy and warm. Call Man Plumbing and Heating, 717-352-9549. It's hard to stop a train.
Join us on Saturday, November 23rd for the 39th Annual Greencastle Christmas Parade presented by Verstandig Media and Antrim Way Honda. Get into the holiday spirit and help welcome Santa Claus to town. The Christmas Parade starts at 9:21 a.m. Be sure you're curbside to watch for Santa and all his jolly helpers. The 39th Annual Greencastle Christmas Parade is brought to you by Brian's Boats and Campers, Carl's Drugstore, Greencastle Coffee Roasters, Kara Schaefer with Remax First Advantage, and Hammer Down Customs.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Well, obviously Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet, but it's not too soon to start marking your calendar, your holiday calendar. And this is one event that you will not want to miss. On Sunday, the 15th of December, Greencastle's historic Martin's Mill Bridge will transform into a winter wonderland. for a festive drive-through. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there. There's going to be free cocoa and cookies, and this marks the Covered Bridge's 175th anniversary.
You know who else is going to be at this? Me.
I think I might be at this as well. Do you have to, or are you asked to give a donation?
I don't know any of that. I saw this just the other day, and coincidentally it popped up in the news stories for us to share today. But when I saw this on Facebook, I said to Mary, I said, "Hon, they're doing up the Martins Mill Bridge for Christmas." Which, if you've never seen the Martins Mill Bridge, just envision a covered bridge, red, you know it. And I can only imagine that it's going to look so beautiful. If you like a country Christmas and carriage ride type, right out of a Norman Rockwell painting, then this is going to be it.
You know what I think is great about this with children? I can imagine that if you take kids to any kind of Christmas activity, they see the bright lights and the sparkle and they just want to run towards it. Well, when they're in the car, they can't go anywhere. So you don't have to worry about keeping an eye on the kids because they can't get out of the car.
Fair enough. Hold them prisoners. Why not? Of course.
Well, I remember one time we took my nieces to a Christmas village, and I didn't have as much fun because I was so worried that they were going to, because they were so excited to go somewhere. It's dark. Yeah. And we were going to lose sight of them. So this is a nice way for everybody to enjoy and not have to worry so much.
You know, Reagan, she scares us, just like I'm sure David and Nadia, your nieces, I'm sure they scare them to death, to scare you. And, but we were at Sam's the other day, and we were trying to get her a winter coat. So this child decides that it would be funny, she doesn't realize what she's doing, that it'd be funny to hide in the coats, in the adult coats, to the point where she does it so quickly that it's, where's Reagan? Now, she thinks it's funny and thinks it's a game. So she's not hollering out, "Here I am," which is what she would do 2 years ago. You know, she wanted you to find her, but she wanted to announce where she was. Right. Now, she's gotten decent at the game of hide and seek. And she's very good at the hiding part and not giving away her position. So I'm like, where is this child at? And here I'm like, honey, you can't do that.
How long do you think she was hiding before you found her?
It wasn't long. It was maybe 5 seconds before we realized. The point was that in that 5 seconds, you would be amazed at how your stomach sinks. You just, all kinds of panic sets in, like where'd my child go? Because it was very busy. It typically is at Sam's on the weekends, but it's very busy, surrounded by people. You don't know if it's someone snatch her. Who knows? How long was I trying to find this coat for her? And it was just, yeah.
I remember when the leashes first came out for children, and I hate to use the word leash, but they were backpack. You know, the backpack.
Well, I mean, it's a leash.
It's a leash, but when I think of leash, I think of collar, and it was more of a backpack. Yeah. And I remember people were, very up in arms about that. But now I can totally understand the purpose of it. You're constantly then attached to your child. Yeah. And especially in a place like an amusement park, a boardwalk, where there's just so many people. Yeah. How do you always keep your eye on your kid? I don't have children, so.
Well, no, you're right. I will never say never, because who knows what you're going to have to go through. But I would be inclined to say I would never use one of those.
They're controversial.
But I understand
why
people do. If Reagan had a tendency to dart out constantly and just no matter what I was doing was not getting through, or same with Mary, it would be very tempting to use one of those. It has nothing to do. I think we all automatically you look at it's got to be the parents lazy. Well, no, I mean a parent could do some of the greatest things that they would ever do as a parent, but some things you just have a more difficult time. And would you rather your child learn not to cross the road without you or holding your hand because they're attached to a backpack that has a quote unquote leash on it, or that they get hit?
Right.
That's a lesson that I think is better learned. Some of those, I even made this comment because Reagan did that very thing again this weekend. She was walking across the parking lot with me, and she started to dart because she saw her mama, and I had to grab her hand and yank her back. And I snatched up on her. It scared me. And there were no cars coming, but I told Mary, I was like, you don't get a second chance sometimes if something like that happens. That's a lesson that you don't want to have to learn.
Sure.
Just this is how it needs to be. So I do kind of get it. I've backed my thinking a little bit off of that.
Especially if you have multiple children.
Oh my! It's hard enough with one.
I can't imagine.
Unless like one of them's an infant, and then the other older one can take care of the.
Right.
Hold your sister's hand.
Did you have a news story?
I'm sorry. We got so caught up. Like, yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Something you wanted to share too, buddy?
So the right lane of northbound I-81 near Williamsport will be closed overnight tonight to allow contractors to perform environmental cleanup related to the September crash, according to the Maryland State Highway Administration. If you remember, this is the crash that I believe it was white paint got all over 81. So this is the cleanup for that. The right lane being closed on the northbound side is in the area of exit 2 for US 11 at Williamsport, according to an email from the State Highway Administration. That lane will be closed starting at 9 p.m. this evening, with work expected to be done right around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. No ramps will be closed during the work.
And now we'll take a look at sports with our good buddy Andy.
A first is happening in Washington County sports. The first time 4 Washington County teams are going to participate in the state finals, and they're all volleyball related. Boonesboro, Williamsport, North Hagerstown, and Clear Spring all won yesterday and will advance to the state finals for Washington County volleyball. The previous record was 3 teams going to state finals, and it was done multiple times. The county record for state championships in one season is 3, achieved when Smithsburg, who was in Class 1A, Williamsport, Class 2A, and North, Class 3A, all won titles in 2012. The Washington County girls volleyball teams were in MPSSAA playoff action on Tuesday. Here's how the games went down. In the 1A semifinal at Thomas Johnson, 2-time defending state champion and number 5 seeded Clear Springs swept number 1 Patterson Mill by scores of 25-18, 25-23, and 27-25. They earned another trip to the state final. And the Blazers were down 24-21 in the third set, and they impressively pulled it together after a timeout to complete the sweep against Patterson Mill. For the second straight year, the Clear Spring Blazers are going to face a Washington County rival in the state final. Last year, they ousted Smithsburg in 5 sets, and this year, they're going to take on Boonesboro High School, which defeated them in 4 sets earlier in the regular season on Saturday at noon. In the 1A semifinal volleyball action at Arundel, a tardy arrival from the Warriors didn't seem to affect them. They rolled into their first state final since 2007 on Tuesday night with a 25-12, 25-6, and 25-13 sweep of number 6 North Dorchester. In the 2A semifinals, Williamsport traveled to face Calvert, with the game taking place at Thomas Johnson. The number 3 Cavaliers fell to the number 7 seeded Williamsport Wildcats, 25-9, 25-19, and 25-19 match scores. In 3A state semifinal action, North Hagerstown took on Northern Calvert Patriots. North Hagerstown won 3 matches to 0, winning by scores of 25-10, 25-15, and 25-19 in a sweep at Arundel. North has defeated Northern in each of the last 3 state tournaments, also winning in the state final in 2022 and the state semifinals last year. Good luck to all 4 of our Washington County volleyball teams in your state final matches. Bring those championships home.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
The JR Sport Brief on the Infinity Sports Network.
Am I going to favor them to win the championship this year? The answer is no. That'll be the greatest miracle because this is the New York Jets. And unfortunately, what's most likely is that one day Aaron Rodgers packs his bags and says, I want to leave. The New York Jets don't have a coach, and the New York Jets are going to have to start from scratch and suck for many more years because another Green Bay Packers experiment quarterback screwed them. This is JR of the JR Sport Brief on 92.1 The GOAT.
As the weather cools down, it's time to warm up your car for the months ahead. You want service you can trust. You want Greencastle Lube Center. They handle all types of maintenance, from oil changes and tires to minor repairs. Don't wait until the cold arrives. Schedule your appointment now and see their full service menu online at greencastleLubeCenter.com. Greencastle Lube Center, just off Exit 5 on I-81. And remember to say hi to Sky, the shop dog.
If you're not at the John Allison this fall, you're going to miss out. We got the NFL tickets so you can watch your favorite team. 18 beers on tap, signature cocktails, daily lunch and dinner specials, and you can even enjoy the game outside on our patio. Trivia night is coming soon, so check Facebook for details. Be sure to book now for your holiday parties. Join family and friends at the John Allison Public House, South Antrim Way, Greencastle, founder of Good Times.
Explore, discover, succeed. The area's premier learning institution is Franklin County Career and Technology Center on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Enroll now for adult education fall 2024 classes, including but not limited to pharmacy technician certification and certified nurse's assistant program. Also, welding and CNC machinist programs. Some courses may be funded through the Career Link.
All courses, descriptions, and pricing can be found at franklinctc.com under Adult Education or contact Faye at 717-263-9033, extension 1512 for more information.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc.com by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Explore, discover, succeed. You can do it all right here in Franklin County. Availability limited. Enroll today.
You can apply online at apply.franklinctc by mail or stop at the Career Tech on Loop Road in Chambersburg.
Antrim Way Honda will buy your car. Its value is at an all-time high, so if you're considering selling it, talk to Antrim Way Honda. You can try selling it online, listing it in the newspaper, or trading it at another dealer, or you can stop by Antrim Way Honda. They'll make you an offer on the spot. No waiting, no negotiating over the phone. Just drive into the dealership and leave with a check in your hands. Even if you're not interested in purchasing another vehicle, it's that easy. Antrim Way Honda, 200 South Antrim Way, Greencastle.
Every family deserves the warmth and comfort of a beautiful Napoleon fireplace. Imagine flickering flames casting a soft glow as you curl up with a book, settle down with that someone special, or sip hot cocoa. Cozy up your home without burning through your savings. LT Rush Stone and Fireplace offers a selection of energy-efficient fireplaces that can help reduce your energy consumption, keeping money in your wallet, not spiraling up the chimney. Whether you prefer the traditional Napoleon wood burning, the clean convenience of a Napoleon pellet-fueled, or slick Napoleon gas options, you'll find the perfect fit for your home and family at LT Rush Stone and Fireplace. Visit the showroom on Buchanan Trail between Waynesboro and Greencastle to view more possibilities. Receive a free ton of pellets with any pellet stove purchase. Enjoy the perfect ambiance without breaking the bank. Cozy up your home with help from LT Rush Stone and Fireplace.
LT Rush Stone and Fireplace, making dreams come true.
Hi, I'm Ashley Newcomer Mills at R. Bruce Carson Jewelers. With the popularity of lab-grown diamond jewelry growing, we want to invite you to a special lab-grown diamond event on November 15th through the 30th. We will be featuring a large selection of loose lab-grown diamonds, fashion and bridal jewelry at 25% off. With any lab-grown diamond purchase sale, you will be entered into a drawing to win a loose lab-grown diamond that is a 1-carat GVS1. Call now to make an appointment with us. We look forward to seeing you. Carson Jewelers, making timeless memories since 1902.
Seems obvious, but the best roofs don't leak. Teflon Roofing can repair or replace any roof, but they know you would rather just keep your existing roof longer. To prevent roof leaks, check for any daylight showing in your attic while making sure it is properly ventilated to avoid moisture collecting. Also, watch for any moss growing on the outside, which is a sign of moisture. If you do find a leak or need more help, give Teflon Roofing a call or visit teflonroofing.com today to protect your home for years to come.
WIKG, Mercersburg, Chambersburg, Greencastle, 92.1 The Goat, the Tri-State's home for sports and news.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows. Endorse the right choice. Winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State Awards. We have Donnie here, who's the mayor of Smithsburg, and he's just been causing us to be rolling here when we're all fair. So we're going to compose ourselves.
Bringing it back together here.
We're going to get back into talking about Smithsburg.
Now, the last time you were here, Donnie, we were really focusing on the fall and all the events you had coming up, but now we're really getting into more of the holiday spirit and season. So what's going on in Smithsburg?
Well, we just, again, like we did the last time, we'll talk past and then we'll move forward. How's that? So on Monday, we had our Veterans Day ceremony. We had Lieutenant Colonel Michael Bowers from Hagerstown come out and speak. Gave a very encouraging speech, not only about the amount of veterans that we see in our community, sprinkled through our communities, the engagement that they do when they come back home, but also after the election that we just had about a week or so ago, of really trying to unite between those that you may disagree with. We're not enemies. We're all in this together. So it was a very good, encouraging message. And we were fortunate enough to have like our Smithsburg Middle School band there, so a good young generation was able to hear this speech. So we did that. Great weather, great speech, great ceremony. And then you're right, we're getting ready to transition into our winter events. And just lucky enough, I brought some of that information with me today.
Wow.
Yeah, I even had to make notes, right?
It's like we had an idea what we were going to talk about.
That, and the first thing that goes is the memory. So I was like, okay, I better go ahead and write this stuff down. So Smithsburg is no different than any other community this time of year, trying to put on events. We talked a little bit about some of the things that we did in the fall. But it's the Christmas holiday season. So, we, just like every other community in the area, have events scheduled, and we hope that it's events that are scheduled for all different generations, from youth to adults. So, the first thing we've got coming up is December the 6th, 6:45 p.m. at Veterans Park. We will do our town Christmas tree lighting. There'll be a proclamation. There'll be a visit from some elves and Santa Claus. It's a really nice party, a nice atmosphere. If anyone's ever been through Washington County at Christmas time between Byron Park and Williamsport, City Park and Hagerstown, we're doing the same concept. We bring in all sorts of different lights, different decorations, really do the park very nicely. So we want people to be able to drive through the entirety of Washington County and be able to do almost like a Christmas light trail.
And they do all of the different areas do it on the same night, on the 6th?
It'll mix a little bit. And what's great is there's even some residents throughout the area. If you've ever come down Smithsburg, Leitersburg Pike, there's a farm on Clopper, off of Clopper, that does this tremendous display. Over in Boonesboro, right across from the high school, there's another resident that does a huge display for Christmas. So there isn't really an organized, like, hey, we're going to do it on this day. But it does. It gives a nice feel that anyone driving through Washington County can start at one end of the county, work their way all the way to the other end of the county, and just have that full festive look.
What used to be when we were growing up, I'm sure you had this as well, it was a big thing to pile in the car and just go drive around and look at Christmas lights.
It was.
And I don't know, it seemed like there for a while, the number of just regular citizens who were decorating their homes had dwindled, and I don't know if it was a matter of the economy, it's just cost, but now it seems like that's ramped back up, which is great, because during COVID, that was one of the things you could do is you could go out and drive and look at Christmas lights. And to your point is, before you get in between all the big shows like Smithsburg's big thing, Williamsport, you talked about Byron Memorial Park, and then you have, of course, you can throw in Waynesboro, Greencastle, and the surrounding area. But the in-between, there's more along those stretches of people just decorating their homes. So I do believe that more than ever before, Christmas lights are back. Big time.
I'm going to contribute it to Christmas Vacation. I think everybody wants to be Clark Griswold. I think everyone wants to do the next display bigger than
falling
someone.
off the roof, sure.
Exactly. And as a ladder safety training guy, we want you to be safe when you're out there putting your lights up.
Can I piggyback on this conversation? Because I remember I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania area, and we would do the same thing. We would go and see those really large displays like Clark Griswold, but I remember we would always bring cash because they would ask for donations for their electric bill.
Yes.
And is that, do they do that around here as well?
The place that you were talking about on Clopper Road,
yes.
I don't know if they still do, but they had a little
donation. Yeah, it gets expensive.
But they also had kind of almost like a petting zoo.
Yeah,
for a
some
while.
of them do.
Cool.
Yeah, so they'll have a petting zoo. There's other ones that I know, like in the Pond Bank, PA area. There's a resident there that does it.
Yeah.
They have it affixed to a radio station, so you can actually hear the Christmas music that's in concert with their lights.
Someone close to us does a doctor in Waynesboro does the same thing.
Yeah, so
it's beautiful.
I think the bigger thing is post-COVID. I think we've all kind of rallied around, like we did lose some of that where we couldn't be with family and friends. We couldn't do those things. And that was like that one outlet that we could do, which was just jump in the car and ride around. And I agree with you. I think that was a memory gone by that is making its return. And that's a great thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
So whatever your denomination is, whatever you celebrate at the holiday season, this is actually the time to get out and do those things and be part of that family. And again, we in Smithsburg are trying the same thing of, making sure that we've got plenty of activities to do. I've already mentioned our tree lighting ceremony. Our fire company, our Smithsburg Volunteer Fire Company, will have its breakfast with Santa the next morning from 7:30 to 10 at their fire hall. We do a in-town Christmas party for our residents.
Oh, fun.
December the 2nd, I believe the last time I was here, we were talking about the Cinnamon Bun Fun Run and how we have runners and the proceeds that go towards our Shop of the Cop. That'll be December the 2nd. Looks like we're going to be able to do about 40 to 50 families where we can take kids up to Walmart and have them shop. They have to buy a hat, gloves, and coat, and then anything left over they can spend on their family members. So we'll be doing that again this year. I know members of the mayor and council, along with our staff, are going to go down and work at the pantry, our local pantry in town, in conjunction with Tabitha's Table. Again, I didn't realize, Smithsburg is one of the most affluent communities in Washington County, but there is still that need. And from what I heard, she told me that the numbers have doubled in the last year or two of those in the Smithsburg area. Maybe not so much in Smithsburg town, but in that area that are struggling. So while we start to see some recovery out there, it's still affecting a lot of families and a lot of, especially this time of the year.
When it can be a trickle effect as well.
Yes.
Sure, there's going to be upswings and ebbs and flows, and it's just sometimes the ebb takes a bit more time to get to you, but it's so wonderful that you have the ability, and good on the police officers and the fire staff for even participating in that. And I'm sure they're not only are they giving of their time, but that they're going to be giving of their money too.
Absolutely.
That's just the kind of people that they are.
And we're small enough in our community that when there's one in need, we jump in and help as much as we can. Whether it's been a family traumatic incident with a house fire or displacement because of unemployment or whatever, our community has always rallied in and helped. And that's the great thing about a small town. Not that it doesn't happen in larger towns, but it seems to be amplified in smaller towns. And Smithsburg is symbiotic of that, right? Sure. We really enjoy our small town feeling. We really enjoy, especially this time of the year. And even though the holiday spirit's coming around, there is still much work to be done, right? Government never ends. Right. There's always demands for services, and we try to do our very best to make sure that we can meet those needs. This month, Maryland Municipal League, which is an organization that is dedicated to the 157 municipalities in the state of Maryland. We just had our fall conference in Cambridge, Maryland, but this month is Workers Month. It's MML's Government Awareness Month. So again, it is to call out all of the work that the police and public works people and inside the office people do. So this time of the year is really about celebrating not just the holidays, but everyone during the course of the year that have really put in the time and effort. So.
Does Smithsburg do a parade?
So they used to do a small parade a few years ago, but like with a lot of those, I know Greencastle always has their large one, and Hagerstown for a few years would have a Christmas parade. It just became taxing, because you're asking volunteers to organize it.
It's a lot of work.
And then, a lot of the schools are out, they get their Christmas break. It's hard to get your marching bands back in. So we stopped doing that. I'm going to say probably about 10 years ago we stopped doing that.
I remember being in that one, driving the station vehicle through that.
Yeah.
We parked up at the high school and the middle school, and then
you made the little loop down.
Yeah.
So and like I said, it just became our Smithsburg Community Activities Commission tried to take that over. And again, you're looking at 4 or 5 volunteers that have full-time jobs, and it's tough to organize. There was one point in time when I was serving on the council that we joked that we were like the town of parades. It was almost every month we were averaging some sort of parade. Mm-hmm. So those things are gone, but we've filled that void with other opportunities to get out and really see the community.
Is that you mentioned a Christmas party for the residents?
Yes.
Is that kind of in place of a parade type of
So
event?
it used to all tie in together. We would do the tree lighting the Friday before, then we would do the parade in the morning, and then that would roll right into the children's Christmas party that evening. So again, the Smithsburg Community Activities Commission puts that on. It's for in-town residents. So I believe in most years we've had anywhere between 40 to 60 kids come to this. It's held at the second level of Town Hall in our old council chambers. And there's the DJ playing, there's food. It's they have a food truck come in and do the food. Again, you can get photos with Santa. They really do a nice job, a spectacular job of putting it together.
Who qualifies? Can anyone come to that with children?
As long as they're within Smithsburg,
right.
yeah.
Right.
So, there is no qualification for it. It's just we encourage as many families to come as they can.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Very good. It sounds like you guys have a firm grasp on all things holidays and Christmas. We wanted to wrap up here with the last few minutes that we have, Donnie. We were reporting, you brought it to our attention, you were our very first interview here on Let's Talk Tri-State a little over a month ago, and then throughout several of our newscasts,
the water
reporting,
infrastructure.
on your infrastructure grant that you just had, and it's getting ready to start taking effect, putting it to work. Is that correct?
Well, it is. So we talked the last time, and it's funny that you wrote that because I actually put that in my notes just as kind of a caveat to the end of the interview. But yes, so Smithsburg has been very active in the last year and a half. I became the actual elected mayor in 2022. And one of the priorities was infrastructure. I think we talked a little bit about that's the unseen thing that everybody wants their water and toilets to work, but it's not really the glamorous.
That's what we called it. It was not the sexy part.
It's not the sexy projects, right? But you're correct. So in 2022 to 2023, as part of the American Rescue Plan, the ARPA, Biden administration ARPA plan, we received about $2.1 million in federal funds to fix some of these projects. There were certain caveats that you could do. We probably spent close to $60,000 to $70,000 on nonprofit groups that could come in and qualify. If they qualified, they would get not necessarily a grant. It was just an offset for any losses they may have occurred because of COVID. Right. So when they couldn't fundraise, they couldn't do their typical revenue generating programs, ARPA was there to kind of fill that void. The bulk of the money that we got, we have put into infrastructure. So we did roughly about $1.2 million in meter replacements, some sewer and repairs. We are currently in the process of about another $700,000 in obligations to our engineer for other projects that we're working on, which will continue. Water improvement. I think I've mentioned the last time, and if I didn't, we had one subdivision that was having pressure issues for about 30 years. So it only took us 30 years to get it done, but it's done. So we literally just closed that loop. It was basically an 8-inch line was running into a 6-inch line, which again is going to stem some of your pressure in that region. We clear that off, put a lateral in. Now we've got full pressure in that community, which then has a residual effect throughout the entire town.
I don't even think about things like that.
No, it sounds
most
like a
people
very
don't.
pressurized situation.
Yeah, you do until you go to take a shower, and then there's there's no pressure.
Right.
But no, those are the programs that, again, aren't the sexy ones or the ones that aren't talked about. We continue to do those. I just talked to the town manager on the way in today. We've got another task order that we want to do for about another $80,000 in sewer repairs. We talked the last time about that infiltration water that gets into your sewer system. Well, we've got a lot of creeks that run through, or streams that run through, some of our main thoroughfare in town. Maybe in this part it's creek. That's what my dad, right. But so they're probably going, creek, what's a creek? But we have some of those that actually flow under the road that are, up against our sewer infrastructure. So we want to go through, line those, make sure they're enclosed so that we're not getting that infiltration water in, which ultimately, if we have to pay for water that's being processed that isn't actually sewage, that's costing our customers and our residents money that we don't need to spend frivolously. So no, we've got those. We just had our audit done. The town is in great financial shape. We were able to put a $500,000 surplus in the bank. So we'll be able to spend that next year on some other programs, but we continue to keep moving forward. And again, even though it may not be the glamorous things, those are the things that for the next 100 years will make sure that Smithsburg is solvent and we don't have to worry about these issues in the future.
It sounds like good things are happening in Smithsburg.
They
Tony.
are.
Thank you so much for sharing all of that with us, and hopefully we'll see you around the holidays.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, of course. Coming up, we're going to take a look at sports, and it's all powered by 2A Arms LLC, 2A and PA, Firearms and Freedom.
Whether you're new to vaping, are thinking of starting, or already vaping, Vast Vapor will treat you right. Electronic cigarettes are not one size fits all. Vast Vapor works with you one-on-one to help you select the best items to be a true replacement to your smoking habit. With great products and expert advice, Vast Vapor is here for you. Ask about their 7-tier rewards program that actually allows you to get the products you want, and give them a like on Facebook. Vast Vapor has 3 locations: on Moggins Avenue next to Subway in Hagerstown, on the point near Walmart, Waynesboro, and Gateway Avenue in Chambersburg. Vast Vapor is hiring additional team members for all 3 locations. Has vaping changed your life? Are you passionate about helping others understand the benefits of tobacco harm reduction? Are you reliable, energetic, and trustworthy? Are you an individual with a good sense of humor? Then Vast Vapor is the place for you. Join the Vast Vapor team and help customers make a positive lifestyle change. Vast Vapor, we're not blowing smoke.
There is always a reason to stop by Breakaway 2 Sports Lounge on Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown. Homestyle Mondays bring comfort food favorites that'll remind you of home. On Tuesdays, it's time for tacos, margaritas, and karaoke. Wednesdays, amazing burgers and fries for just $8. And on Thursdays, it's all about dollar wings. Drink specials every Friday and Saturday night, now serving breakfast Monday through Saturday from 7 to 11 a.m. Sundays are for football at Breakaway 2. They've got the NFL Sunday ticket, so you won't miss a single game. Breakaway 2. Stop by, grab a bite, shoot some pool, watch your favorite sports, listen to live music, have a great meal, visit the full-service liquor store, or relax on the deck. And this month in the warehouse, Saturday, November 23rd, is the first annual holiday market from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Join them for a wide variety of crafts, gifts, services, and more. Free admission. Wednesday, November 27th is the annual Thanksgiving Eve party. More details to follow. Head over to Breakaway 2 Sports Lounge, where you can eat, drink, break. Pennsylvania Avenue in Hagerstown.
Hey, it's Cody from Bell Jewelers. Are you looking for the perfect gift? Bell Jewelers has you covered. We are a family-owned jewelry store here in Chambersburg. We offer the largest selection of natural and lab diamonds in the area. Explore our exquisite collections from Levion, Simon G, and Pandora. Whether it's a gift for a special occasion or just because, you will find the perfect piece at Bell Jewelers. Plus, with our in-house jeweler, you can trust us for all your custom designs and repairs. Stop by and see us on Norland Avenue in Chambersburg. Bell Jewelers, your diamond destination.
Tired of tripping over that old squeaky floor while trying to impress the in-laws? Or worse, does your uncle keep asking if your cabinets are vintage and not in a good way? Give yourself the gift of beautiful floors and shiny cabinets from Dick's Cabinetry and Flooring. Whether it's hardwood, tile, or carpet, you'll glide through the holidays, not trip over them. And Dick's has cabinets that will make even your picky cousins say, wow. Dick's Cabinetry and Flooring, Lincoln Way, East Chambersburg. They're serious about your home.
Here at Patriot Federal Credit Union, our members work hard for their money, and we make their money work hard for them. Our dividend checking account offers lots of money-saving features, and it pays great rates. Great rates from a checking account? At Patriot, it's just one more way we can help you achieve financial success. Discover more valuable benefits and today's rates at patriotfcu.org. Insured by NCUA.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Reported on this not too long ago, the winners of the first Franklin County Visitors Bureau Scary Mini Movie Contest have been named. The top prize was awarded to Denise Engel and Family for the Dark Realm. 2 honorable mentions of $100 were rewarded to Sharif Joyner and Santos Vasquez for The Drive and Steve Black and Family for Halloween Night. Videos needed to be original works, at least 90 seconds, no more than 5.5 minutes, with introduction and credits. And you may remember that it needed to have a scream and the phrase, "But there is one thing." Yeah. Remember, I was really confused about right. Surprise, surprise. Mm-hmm. But if you want to see the video submissions, you can go online to explorefranklincountypa.com, episode 19, to see them, which I think is, I'm curious how many submissions they had. And I love that they're so quick, especially for me, because I have a very short attention span.
I'm going to watch them.
I am too.
Definitely, because who knows what you're missing.
I know.
I've never been one to really watch short films, but I want to see if do I recognize anywhere.
Are you scared?
Does it scare me at all? And I like the idea of the story that people would come up with.
And so how you can come up with it in 90 seconds.
That's exactly right. So Hagerstown police are investigating a shooting that happened Monday evening along the 100 block of West Bethel Street, in which the man's injuries were not believed at the time to be life-threatening. The suspect was not in custody as of yesterday morning, Hagerstown Police Lieutenant Rebecca Fachu said shortly before 8 a.m. She said at the time of the shooting, we had 3 members of HPD attending a community meeting in Bethel Gardens. Additionally, there were officers in the area of Jonathan and Church Streets that heard the shots. Officers immediately responded and rendered first aid. This was according to a Facebook post by the Hagerstown Police Department. So horrible that there was a shooting. Great that, I mean, look, we had the other day, it was, you and I told a story about an ambulance that ran into a guy.
Oh, yes. We talked about that on our radio program.
Unfortunate, but hey, if you're going to get hit by something,
it's right there to take you to the right place. And you have the EMTs right there for you.
With this, there was a shooting, but these officers were quick to act and render first aid, and who knows how different that could have turned out.
Right, exactly. Let's go ahead and take a look at sports with Andy.
Last night in ABA action, the Atlanta Hawks kicked off the night taking on the Boston Celtics. The Atlanta Hawks got a win 117-116, with Johnson leading the way for scoring on 18 points with 13 rebounds and 10 assists, getting himself a triple-double. White led the scoring for the Celtics with 31 points and 6 rebounds. The Detroit Pistons won a close game in overtime with the Miami Heat. Caden Cunningham had an alley-oop pass to Duren for the Pistons to win the game and seal the deal. Hero had 40 points on the night for the Miami Heat with 8 assists and 4 steals, and Cade Cunningham led the scoring with 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists for the Pistons. The Orlando Magic beat the Charlotte Hornets 114-89 last night. LaMelo Ball led the scoring for the Hornets with 35 points, and Franz Wagner put in 32 points for the Orlando Magic. The New York Knicks got a win against the Philadelphia 76ers in Joel Embiid's debut game for the 76ers this season. Hart led the scoring for New York with 14 points, 12 rebounds, and 10 assists, getting himself a triple-double on the night. And Paul George had 29 points and 10 rebounds for the 76ers. The Milwaukee Bucks won against the Toronto Raptors. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 23 points with 7 assists and 4 blocks on the game. The Phoenix Suns beat the Utah Jazz 120-112. Devin Booker had 31 points for the Suns, and John Collins had 29 points and 10 rebounds for the Utah Jazz. In a game where we saw the Splash Brothers reunite, Stephen Curry and his Golden State Warriors took on Klay Thompson and his Dallas Mavericks last night. The Warriors came out on top in a close one, 120-117. Stephen Curry led the scoring for the Warriors with 37 points, 6 rebounds, and 9 assists. Luka Doncic had 31 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists for the Mavs. The Portland Trailblazers got an important win against a tough opponent in the Minnesota Timberwolves last night. Reed led the scoring for Minnesota with 28 points, while Williams III had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 steals for the Blazers. There wasn't just basketball in the NBA last night happening. There was college basketball going on as well, and a good game against Kansas and Michigan State took place, with number 1 Kansas coming out on top 77-69. Kentucky took on Duke. Kentucky ranked number 19, while Duke's ranked number 6 on the season. Kentucky got the upset win, 77-72. Number 12 Baylor took down Sam Houston 104-67. And number 25 Ole Miss got a win against South Alabama 64-54. In the NHL last night, the Ottawa Senators notched a win against the Toronto Maple Leafs 3-0. The Winnipeg Jets took down the New York Rangers 6-3. And the New Jersey Devils beat the Florida Panthers 4-1. The Boston Bruins got a win against the St. Louis Blues 3-2. And the Edmonton Oilers beat the New York Islanders 4-3. The Vancouver Canucks took down the Calgary Flames 3-1. And finally, the last game on the evening saw the Seattle Kraken go up against the Columbus Blue Jackets, with the Kraken getting a win 5-2.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Sunday, January 26th, it's the Tristate Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown. This is the ultimate showcase for area bridal professionals, local bakers, photographers, caterers, DJs, travel planners, bands, venues. You'll want to meet the brides-to-be. Make sure you're at the top of their list by being a vendor in the 2025 Tristate Bridal Show at Valley Mall, Hagerstown, Sunday, January 26th. Visit bestoftheTristate.com for vendor information today.
It's game day, and there's no better way to fuel your excitement than with Fox's Pizza Den, where every bite is a touchdown. Whether you're rooting for the home team or hosting a watch party, Fox's pizzas are crafted with quality ingredients you can taste. From classic pepperoni to specialty pies loaded with fresh toppings, there's a perfect slice for every fan. Don't forget Fox's Pizza Den's delicious wings and sides to complete your feast. Always a winner, your local Fox's Pizza Den in Chambersburg. Order your pizza online now.
Surplus City finds factory overruns, buybacks, and closeouts and turns them into great everyday deals. Check out the great selection of toys, along with Christmas decor, ornaments, pines, and more. Get ready for winter with assorted sweatshirts, clear plastic to cover your windows, stovepipe, and RV antifreeze. There's a great selection of flannel and fleece material. Assorted wood tabletops start at $54.49, and they have wood butcher blocks too. Surplus City, West Side Plaza, Lincoln Way West, Chambersburg.
Greencastle's annual Christmas parade is Saturday, November 23rd. And parents, your son or daughter could lead the way as Grand Marshal. If they are between the ages of 5 and 10 and live in the Greencastle Antrim School District, register them today at Scoops on the Square in downtown Greencastle. 1 entry per child. Your child will also help light the town Christmas tree Friday evening, November 22nd, and enjoy a special holiday treat at Scoops Scoops with their friends after the parade. Head into Scoops on the Square today to enter your child's name.
Are you currently medically uninsured and a citizen of Washington County, Maryland? Uninsured citizens are healthier and more productive through free access to health care. The Community Free Clinic can help those in need of physical or mental health care, including prescription medicine and lab services. Services are not based on income. Most services are free to qualifying patients. Are you currently medically uninsured? If you are in need of physical or mental health care, go to mycommunityfreeclinic.org to see if you qualify. Your health, their priority.
Making your home more comfortable, secure, and efficient. That's the goal of CV Winger, from upgrading your heating and cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems to installing new faucets or security lights. CV Winger is your solution, a certified York dealer offering products backed by decades of experience. Founded over 140 years ago, York has been an industry leader from the start. Talk to CV Winger today about the upgrades you want in your home and receive a free estimate on your projects. From installing new Comfort Height toilets to a whole house generator or a heat pump water heater. See how properly installed quality York products can make your home smarter, more efficient, and more reliable. You can save money on your energy costs too. Call CV Winger today at 717-263-1469 or find them online at cvwinger.com. CV Winger in Chambersburg, your certified York dealer.
Looking for a renewable, clean-burning, and cost-stable home heating alternative? Use Somerset Premium Wood Pellets, available at Knitter House Hardware. Somerset Premium Wood Pellets are 100% hardwood, clean-burning, and low ash. Available in 40-pound bags or by the ton. Stop by and ask about delivery options. Somerset Premium Wood Pellets are already helping to warm over 1 million homes in the U.S. Will your home be next? Knitter House Hardware, Chambersburg's neighborhood hardware store, just off Wayne Avenue.
This fall, cozy up with incredible deals you won't want to miss at Boost Mobile by CPA Wireless. For new customers, buy a Moto G 5G and get another one free. That's right, 2 for the price of 1. Or switch today and get the Moto G Stylus 5G or Samsung A25 for free. Not a fan of Android? No worries. Grab an iPhone 12 for just $49.99 when you switch. And for our current customers, you can snag it for as low as $99.99. Find a participating store near you at cpawireless.com/locations. Hurry, these fall deals won't last long. Boost Mobile by CPA Wireless, where the best deals fall right into your hands.
Where the Tristate goes for local sports, the Coach's Corner is your source. Baseball, football, soccer, and hoops, the Coach's Corner has the scoop. It's the Coach's Corner with Andy.
Covering Tri-State sports, it's the Coach's Corner with Andy on 92.1 The GOAT.
It's the Coach's Corner.
Hey, I'm Andy with the Coach's Corner. We are here with Jonathan Wesson today. He's the Williamsport Wildcats boys varsity basketball coach. How are you doing today, Jonathan?
I'm doing all right. How are you?
I'm doing good. Basketball season is about to start here, get underway. You guys have some tryouts coming up here soon. When do those begin?
November 15th and 16th, so it's approaching pretty quick. I know myself and my staff are super excited to get into tryouts, get into the season.
So I noticed one thing about you, Jonathan. You have a little bit of an accent. And It's not the accent most people see around here in the tri-state area. It's a little more southern. Where at in Mississippi are you from?
So I'm around Tupelo, the top northeast corner there. Tupelo would be the biggest town that everybody kind of knows because it's home from Elvis Presley.
Yep. So you did a little bit of got your coaching start as a JV head coach in Nettleton from 2017 to 2019. And then you did a little bit of coaching in West Virginia, Spring Mills Middle School, right?
Yes, correct. So we were in Mississippi teaching and coaching right before we moved up here. And then we got into it over at the middle school over at Spring Mills and ran that program for a few years before transitioning over here to Washington County.
So what brought you from Mississippi into the tri-state area?
So my wife, honestly. So I met her down there at Mississippi State University. She was in the vet program, and she had offers to go anywhere and decided to come back home. And so her hometown is Catoctin, which is right over the mountain in Frederick County. So we reside in Hagerstown, and so that was the main reason coming back for her family.
That's cool. Yeah, I'm from this area as well, so I'm very familiar with Catoctin. Nice little town, nice little area. Just went to Color Fest there not long ago.
Oh, dude, it was awesome, wasn't it?
We go every year. We like to take the kids. We got a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old, and they absolutely love it. Now, I enjoy going, but when I'm there for 5 minutes and the crowds are, do you guys go on Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday. We go Saturday morning bright and early. We try and beat the people there.
Oh, man. We do every year, but it never fails. We usually are late, You probably understand. Do you guys have kids as well?
We do not, but we try and take the whole family down there, and you know how it is getting multiple people ready.
Oh, yeah. And then you get in there and you're like, all right, I'm ready. This is going to be cool. And then you get there and you're like, man, I'm ready to leave. These people are walking on my feet.
Too many people.
Yeah, but it is fun. It is fun. So tell us a little bit about your goals coming up for this season. What are you planning on achieving here with the Wildcats in the 2024-2025 season? You guys went 12-11 last year, right? Under your first year?
Yep, correct.
So what do you guys got coming up? What are your plans for this season? Obviously, winning championships and getting wins in general. But I know athlete and student development are a big part of your teaching as coaching as well.
Right.
What do you do? What do you do to implement that philosophy on your team?
Yeah. So again, the big thing is basketball, but I want to kind of come in and teach the boys life stuff, trying to hold them accountable, making sure that they are keeping up with grades. We're already checking grades like nobody's business, and they'll come up and show it to us, say, hey, Coach, I'm good. So that's stuff that we don't really have to worry about. I'm really big on accountability, holding them accountable to things in practice. Little things like practice jersey, you having the right stuff on, running the drills the right way. So things that translate outside of the game of basketball. I think that I got that from kind of my coaches growing up and my dad, who's a coach. It kind of just translated and trickled down to me. And also, like, coaches that I've had the opportunity to coach with. So I'm taking bits and pieces of kind of what I saw them do well, and I'm kind of just forming my own thing there. Looking forward to the school year, honestly, like you said it best, we're trying to win games, but at the expense of I'm not trying to sell all, be all to win a game. We want to do it the right way. Getting into practice, working hard, competing every day. And, I think if we make practice hard and competitive, then the games are going to be easy. I've always kind of believed that. And so, just looking forward to, I like the grind, man. The grind of everyday practice, in the weight room, in the gym, the hour and a half, 2 hour practice is where you're really getting down to the nitty gritty stuff. And that allows me to coach them and teach them, so I kind of like that stoppage of play. Hey, here's what you're doing, and let's run it again. Instead of the games, I hate coaching in games. They just not my thing. But no, I love the grind and I love the coaching side of it. It just, the games are a showing off what we have been doing. And so I would rather do the practice side of it. That's the teacher coming out of me, I guess. But no, winning games, definitely I want that region title. Definitely that's up there. We always want to be kind of the best in Washington County. I know North and South and Williamsport are big rivals, and last year Smithsburg was very good. Boonesboro this year is going to be much better. So I think the county is going to be much better and more even, I guess. So there's going to be some good inter-county battles there. But
that's awesome. I love that philosophy. Oh, sorry. I mean,
no, you go ahead.
I love that.
I'm done.
You're good. You're good. I understand. You get started up on it, and you want to keep going. I totally get it. It just shows your passion for coaching. It's wonderful to see. But I love your philosophy of you like the grind with the practices, because that's where those bonds for teammates are formed, and that's where a bond with you and your teammates are formed as well. When you're, I don't know exactly how one of your practices goes down or what you guys do in a normal practice, but I remember when I played basketball, conditioning was a huge factor. I'm sure it still is, but we would run sprints, we would run laps around the court, and multiple drills were just run. Mm-hmm. And when you're getting down like that, and your physical peak is low, you turn to those other people and they lift you up and they help you along.
Lean on them.
Yep, exactly. And then that comes, like you said, that shows in a game. Yep. And it's really cool to see. And I love the aspect you have and your vision of what you want to do there. And another question I wanted to ask you about your team is, how many players do you have coming back this year? How many seniors do you have on the team?
So coming back, as of right now, of course, we haven't had tryouts. Anybody can show up. But from the summer, I think we're returning 3 seniors. So we're still relatively young. We lost 6 seniors last year. We had a big senior class. So we lost 6 last year. This year we're losing 3 that I know of. And then the majority of them on the team is going to be juniors and sophomores. So we're relatively young. Going to have some talent, but again, job as a coach is to develop as we go through. So not just relying on where they're at right now, but where could they get, by the time they're ending their junior year or junior summer leading into their senior season.
Right. So when you go through a tryout for basketball, do the players that played last year need to try out as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. Cool.
So I'm not once you're in the program, you stay in the program type of coach. I believe that you still have to show up. You still have to go 100%. So I expect some guys to come out and kind of think that they've made it when I haven't seen them all summer. They have not picked up a basketball, and it's the thing that you get past, in today's game where you can play AAU all year. If you don't pick up a basketball, you're going to lose some of those skills. So everybody's got to participate. And what I do, I know every coach is different. So we're running 2 days worth of tryouts this year. First one is going to be really fundamentally and skill based. We'll do a lot of station stuff. We won't really get into a whole lot of inter-squad stuff until the second day. Second day is where we get all of our playing. We'll start it at 1-on-1s, and then we'll trickle up and do some 4-on-4s, maybe some 5-on-5s, just to kind of see how guys bond together, how they communicate, and how well they work together. And then take what they do during the inter-squad or the scrimmage, pair that with the fundamentals and kind of where they need to go, and then we pretty much choose the ones that are deserving of the program, and then we take it and we run with it.
Awesome. So who are your 3 seniors that plan to come back and try out to make the team again this year?
So far we've got Keontae Wilmore. He was a really good kid in the county. I think he topped the scoring in the county last year. We got a post player, Antoine Brown, coming back. And then Jalen Coleman's another good guard we got coming back as of right now.
Awesome.
But those 3, show some leadership. We had them last year. They know how I operate. So I'm looking forward to them coming back and kind of setting the tone.
Yeah, I recognize Keontae's name from football. Talked with Tim a few times, and I hear his name come up quite often. So it sounds like he's a very good multi-sport athlete.
Yes, he is. Very good kid too.
That's awesome. That's awesome to see. So, Jonathan, all coaches usually have a certain style and usually have a certain tell or something you remember about them the most. Just for example, like we'll take Bobby Knight, aggressive, hot-headed. We all remember him for throwing the chair. Then you think about Phil Jackson, kind of like a Zen master of the game. If someone were to describe you as a coach, what would you say most people would notice about your coaching style?
Intensity, passion. I'm very intense when it comes to practice. And I think that, only a handful of guys kind of understand. But at the same time, I'm not so intense that, like I'm always yelling down somebody's throat. Like I'm intense at practice that, hey, I want things done and things done at a certain time and a certain way. But if they're not getting done, I'm not trying to humiliate you, right? I'll pull you off to the side. We'll have that conversation or whatever, and we'll fix it. And then my staff also, like they're not somebody who's going to come in and fly at said player or person on the court. So in games, my mind is going 90-0, and I a lot of times can run the stuff in my head, and I try and talk through and help the boys on the court. So I'm trying to stay up with the game. So I would think passionate or intensity. I'm not going to pull a Bobby Knight and throw the chair or anything, but I'm always trying to talk to referees and kind of figure out where the lines are. What I can do. So so it's fun.
That sounds really cool. So it sounds like you're kind of like that, like that dad mentality. You care, and you might throw a little bit of like you said, intensity at it, but you're not gonna yell. And it's more of a teaching moment than it is a you did this wrong moment. I get it. I like it. Cool. Very cool. So another basketball question I have for you. I know you're a big college basketball guy, but I have to ask you this question as well because I ask every basketball associated interview that I have this question: MJ or LeBron?
Oh man, I hate this debate.
Or you could even throw Kobe in there if you really wanted to.
I don't know, man.
That's who I would pick.
Each one did their own thing. Each one has a place in history. I remember growing up, and MJ was the big thing. So for me, it's Michael over all of them. But again, I see how the younger generation, they're always going to see Kobe because maybe they didn't see Michael play, so they don't know. Now the younger kids, these middle school kids, they're seeing LeBron all the time, who definitely didn't see Jordan. So the era is changing. They're all really good at their craft, so it's hard to debate. And how do you debate when certain players aren't playing anymore? We always talk numbers, and numbers don't lie, but the game has changed so much. It's kind of hard to debate and talk about, in my opinion.
It's the ongoing debate. It never ends. It will never end.
Yeah.
So I do like the whole thing with LeBron and his son playing on the same team together. I think that's really cool. I thought it was really cool that they got to play in the game together for the first NBA moment like that. And I like LeBron as a player. I like MJ more too. I would probably put MJ, Kobe, and then LeBron.
Mm-hmm.
I like LeBron more as he got older. Yeah, as he kind of matured as a player. He came out more. He wasn't just this, flashy dunker. He was He became more of a team player. Yeah, and I think that's where I think it's cool that his son ties into this game, the game now, and that's probably the reason that he changed like that. Becoming playing in the NBA as a dad, and you kind of carry everything over into the game that you learn in real life. So, LeBron now is I like him more than Kid LeBron. Kid LeBron was fun to watch. But,
absolutely. He was flashy with all the dunks and the high energy, and you know what I'm saying? But so LeBron having to shift his focus a little bit, and plus having kids, he kind of got into the coaching aspect of it. And when you're playing, you see all of this happening so fast, but when you go into teacher mode, your brain kind of flips a switch and you're like, all right, so what's the defense going to do if I do this? And so that's part of, I think, why he's so good is he understands the coaching aspect of it while he's playing. And I think that's why his sons are going to be so well.
Yeah, I agree. So we talked a little bit before we started the interview, and you're a big college basketball guy. Who's your college basketball team?
I'm a Duke fan, man. I grew up watching Coach K. I'm sorry if you're a North Carolina guy.
No, worse.
But no,
Maryland.
I grew up watching Coach K. I really liked how he handled everything. He ran the program back before they had NIL or the transfer portal. You got guys in, and they went through your system, and you knew what you were getting year after year, man. It just, I don't know. It was something about that team, and I was hooked on it.
I was big into college basketball. I still enjoy college basketball, but I was really into it when I was younger. I forget what year it was. I want to say 99 maybe, where the Terps won the NCAA championship. I think it was 99. And Duke, they were still in the ACC then, and Duke was the main rival. Man, those Duke-Maryland games with like Lonnie Baxter, J.J. Redick, Shane Battier, all them. Dude, those are some of my most fond sports memories of watching games on TV. And I remember coming home and, I'd make it a point to sit down and watch. I haven't really been into it like that since, but I still really enjoy college basketball more than NBA just because it's got that more, it feels like it's got more, not saying each league has more passion than or each association has more passion than the other, but you see it more on the college level than you do in the NBA. NBA is a little more reserved. The media is a little bigger. People kind of paint you in a different light, but that college, man, seeing those kids go out there and, playing to play, not playing for, these days there might be some money involved, but they're mostly playing to play and try to get into the league. And the student sections add to it and those fans, man, college basketball is a different beast, and it's really fun to watch.
And I think that's why I really liked it. Because the atmosphere at Duke, I've never been to a game, but the TV, you just hear the announcers being muffled by the crowd. And the college kids back then, before the NIL and all that, their goal was to play well to get to the NBA. Right? So you had a little bit more intensity and purpose than just, hey, I'm going to go out here and play and make this NIL money, and if I make it, I make it kind of thing. They're grinding every day to make it, to fulfill their dream. Essentially, is to make it to the NBA.
Exactly.
And the NIL kind of squashed that a little bit.
Yeah, I think it's still there a little bit, but you're right. It's definitely changed, and things aren't going to stop changing. So you kind of just take it in stride.
Yep, you got to adapt.
Well, hey, Jonathan, it's a pleasure hanging out with you today. When do the Wildcats season start?
So officially, we start December 3rd. We host Oakdale for our home opener. And it's going to be exciting. I'm expecting a large crowd. They call us the Duke of Washington County, so hopefully we can get that student section in there and pack it out.
All right. Well, if you want to come check out the opening night, come see the Wildcats play in Williamsport. Like Coach Weston said, they're going up against Oakdale. Should be a good game. Thanks for hanging out again today, Jonathan. And we'll have you back on soon.
Awesome, man. I appreciate it.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Everybody's athletic journey is different. Some athletes might find themselves injured, and others are looking to get back into their favorite activity. At Meritus Sports Medicine, our expert team will support the unique needs of athletes of all ages and levels, from youth to professional. Conveniently located at the Valley Mall, our new facility boasts leading-edge technology and the compassionate local care everyone deserves. Our expert team will develop individual treatment plans guided by the needs and goals of each athlete. To learn more, visit meritushealth.com/sportsmedicine.
It's the season of giving, and for the third year in a row, ADUSA has generously donated turkeys to Win Victim Services for families' Thanksgiving dinners. ADUSA is always looking for motivated employees to join their great team. Go to adusasc.com for more information. Win Victim Service, a local nonprofit, has been helping the local community with domestic and sexual violence for the last 3 decades. All their services are free and confidential. Visit their website for more information and upcoming events at winservices.org.
Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katie.
Well, obviously Thanksgiving hasn't happened yet, but it's not too soon to start marking your calendar, your holiday calendar. And this is one event that you will not want to miss. On Sunday, the 15th of December, Greencastle's historic Martin's Mill Bridge will transform into a winter wonderland for a festive drive-through. Santa and Mrs. Claus will be there. There's going to be free cocoa and cookies, and this marks the covered bridge's 175th anniversary.
You know who else is going to be at this? Me.
I think I might be at this as well. Do you have to, or are you asked to give a donation?
I don't know any of that. I saw this just the other day, and coincidentally it popped up in the news stories for us to share today. But when I saw this on Facebook, I said to Mary, I said, "Hon, they're doing up the Martins Mill Bridge for Christmas." Which, if you've never seen the Martins Mill Bridge, just envision a covered bridge, red, and I can only imagine that it's going to look so beautiful. If you like a country Christmas and carriage ride type, right out of a Norman Rockwell painting, then this is going to be it.
You know what I think is great about this with children? I can imagine that if you take kids to any kind of Christmas activity, they see the bright lights and the sparkle and they just want to run towards it. Well, when they're in the car, they can't go anywhere. So you don't have to worry about keeping an eye on the kids because they can't get out of the car.
Fair enough. Hold them prisoners. Why not? Of course.
Well, I remember one time we took my nieces to a Christmas village, and I didn't have as much fun because I was so worried that they were going to, because they were so excited to go somewhere. It's dark. And we were going to lose sight of them. So this is a nice way for everybody to enjoy and not have to worry so much.
Reagan, she scares us, just like I'm sure David and Nadia, your nieces, I'm sure they scare them to death. They scare you. And, but we were at Sam's the other day, and we were trying to get her a winter coat. So this child decides that it would be funny. She doesn't realize what she's doing. that it'd be funny to hide in the coats, in the adult coats, to the point where but she does it so quickly that it's, where's Reagan? Now, she thinks it's funny and thinks it's a game. So she's not hollering out, here I am, which is what she would do 2 years ago. You know, she wanted you to find her, but yeah, she wanted to announce where she was.
Right.
Now, she's gotten decent at the game of hide and seek. And she's very good at the hiding part and not giving away her position. So I'm like, where is this child at? And here I'm like, honey, you can't do that.
How long do you think she was hiding before you found her?
It wasn't long. It was maybe 5 seconds before we realized. The point was that in that 5 seconds, you would be amazed at how your stomach sinks. You just all kinds of panic sets in, like where'd my child go? Because it was very busy. It typically is at Sam's on the weekends. It's very busy, surrounded by people. You don't know if it's someone snatch her. Who knows? How long was I trying to find this coat for her? And it was just, yeah.
I remember when the leashes first came out for children, and I hate to use the word leash, but they were backpack. You know, the backpack.
Well, I mean, it's a leash.
It's a leash, but when I think of leash, I think of collar, and it was more of a backpack. Yeah. And I remember people were, very up in arms about that. But now I can totally understand the purpose of it. You're constantly then attached to your child. Yeah. And especially in a place like an amusement park, a boardwalk, where there's just so many people. Yeah. How do you always keep your eye on your kid? I don't have children, so.
Well, no, you're right. I will never say never, because who knows what you're going to have to go through. But I would be inclined to say I would never use one of those.
They're controversial.
But I understand
why
people do. If Reagan had a tendency to dart out constantly and just no matter what I was doing was not getting through, or same with Mary, it would be very tempting to use one of those. And it has nothing to do. I think we automatically you look at it's got to be the parents lazy. Well, no, I mean a parent could do some of the greatest things that they would ever do as a parent, but some things you just have a more difficult time. And would you rather your child learn not to cross the road without you or holding your hand because they're attached to a backpack that has a quote unquote leash on it, or that they get hit?
Right.
That's a lesson that I think is better learned. Some of those, I even made this comment because Reagan did that very thing again this weekend. She was walking across the parking lot with me and she started to dart because she saw her mama and I had to grab her hand and yank her back. And I snatched up on her. It scared me. And there were no cars coming, but I told Mary, you don't get a second chance sometimes if something like that happens. That's a lesson that you don't want to have to learn.
Sure. Just
this is how it needs to be. So I do kind of get it. I've backed my thinking a little bit off of that.
Especially if you have multiple children.
Oh my! It's hard enough with one.
I can't imagine.
Unless one of them's an infant, and then the other older one can take care of the
right.
Hold your sister's hand.
Did you have a news story?
I'm sorry. We got so caught up. Yes, I do, as a matter of fact.
Something you wanted to share too, buddy?
So the right lane of northbound I-81 near Williamsport will be closed overnight tonight to allow contractors to perform environmental cleanup related to the September crash, according to the Maryland State Highway Administration. If you remember, this is the crash that I believe it was white paint got all over 81. So this is the cleanup for that. The right lane being closed on the northbound side is in the area of exit 2 for US 11 at Williamsport, according to an email from the State Highway Administration. That lane will be closed starting at 9 p.m. this evening, with work expected to be done right around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning. No ramps will be closed during the work.
And now we'll take a look at sports with our good buddy Andy.
A first is happening in Washington County sports. The first time 4 Washington County teams are going to participate in the state finals, and they're all volleyball related. Boonesboro, Williamsport, North Hagerstown, and Clear Spring all won yesterday and will advance to the state finals for Washington County volleyball. The previous record was 3 teams going to state finals, and it was done multiple times. The county record for state championships in one season is 3, achieved when Smithsburg, who's in Class 1A, Williamsport, Class 2A, and North, Class 3A, all won titles in 2012. The Washington County girls volleyball teams were in MPSSAA playoff action on Tuesday. Here's how the games went down. In the 1A semifinal at Thomas Johnson, 2-time defending state champion and number 5 seeded Clear Springs swept number 1 Patterson Mill by scores of 25-18, 25-23, and 27-25. They earned another trip to the state final. and the Blazers were down 24-21 in the third set, and they impressively pulled it together after a timeout to complete the sweep against Patterson Mill. For the second straight year, the Clear Spring Blazers are going to face a Washington County rival in the state final. Last year, they ousted Smithsburg in 5 sets, and this year, they're going to take on Boonesboro High School, which defeated them in 4 sets earlier in the regular season on Saturday at noon. In the 1A semifinal volleyball action at Arundel, a tardy arrival from the Warriors didn't seem to affect them. They rolled into their first state final since 2007 on Tuesday night with a 25-12, 25-6, and 25-13 sweep of number 6 North Dorchester. In the 2A semifinals, Williamsport traveled to face Calvert, with the game taking place at Thomas Johnson. The number 3 Cavaliers fell to the number 7 seeded Williamsport Wildcats, 25-9, 25-19, and 25-19 match scores. In 3A state semifinal action, North Hagerstown took on Northern Calvert Patriots. North Hagerstown won 3 matches to 0, winning by scores of 25-10, 25-15, and 25-19 in a sweep at Arundel. North has defeated Northern in each of the last 3 state tournaments, also winning in the state final in 2022 and the state semifinals last year. Good luck to all 4 of our Washington County volleyball teams in your state final matches. Bring those championships home.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.
Want to save money on home energy costs? Make the right choice. Contact HomeRight Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, winner in Best of the Tri-State 2024. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, your best local window and door provider in the Tri-State. Today's replacement windows can really make a difference in your heating and cooling costs. They can also add to your home's resale value, and you could earn tax credits. To schedule a free in-home estimate, Google HomeRight Waynesboro or find them on Facebook. HomeRight Windows and Doors, Waynesboro, the right choice.
Will you take the dip? Do the chicken dance on the beach, or just watch? Whatever you decide, it will be a cool experience. Saturday, December 14th, it's the Special Olympics Cowan's Gap Polar Plunge. Come chill out at Cowan's Gap State Park in Fort Loudoun and support Special Olympics Pennsylvania athletes. Registration and check-in begins at 10:30 a.m. Every dollar raised helps support vital programming for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. Learn more at specialolympicspa.org/polarplunge.
When you and your loved one need extra support for a very serious illness, there's just one call to make: to Hospice of Washington County.
They provided a team of professionals